Hey y'all, it's Chantel with the God Said No YouTube channel. I know you haven't seen me in a long time, right? Right. There's a lot that's happened, right? For you, for me too. But we gotta talk about all of that. But right now, we're gonna talk about consideration. How to consider people post trauma, post major life events, and boundaries. Um, We've had a lot go on in this 6 weeks, and I'm going to go into more detail about the events on another video, which will seem out of order because I'm talking about right now instead of telling you what happened to get me to the right now. But I feel like the right now is important because I really can't focus on anything else. So the right now is the trauma for the past is catching up to me now in the current state of already being traumatized. How do you deal with life when it feels so heavy that you can't breathe? God gives you everything you need, but sometimes you don't even know what that is. For me, I have been very diligent about being strong and about handling things myself. And I have been put in the position where I feel like God is pushing me to allow people to support me. And it's scary. It's scary to be so vulnerable to more than one person. And I'm having trouble with allowing people to support me through great tragedy. And I'm scared that the expectation will be met with resistance and deemed unsuccessful. And I don't want to be disappointed in expecting or being a part of people showing up for me and it doesn't end up right. I've had a lot of things happen and I have been really down, like really down, where I am self-isolating. I am recluse. I am not talking. I am not responding. I am having a hard time doing my task. If I'm doing my task, I am unproductive and I'm procrastinating. And all of those are things that I've done before, but not all at one time. So I can see that I'm spiraling. And because I have a lot of self-awareness, because I've done a lot of work on myself, it's almost like I'm trying to pump the brakes, but I'm just like, I probably should put on the emergency brake and I'm just using my regular brakes because I've seen too much. And what I mean by that is God saying no to death for my children exposed me to all the things necessary to keep people alive. And it can be gruesome. It's hard to watch. It's very I know things that I shouldn't know. Like, I would love to be so ignorant and blissful to not know about feeding machines or ventilators or all different kind of medicine, epilepsy, brain injuries, gastrological intestinal diseases, blood disorders. It's a lot. And because God said no, we had to go through the healing and the sickness and the journeys, which has traumatized us, which has hardened me, which has made me sad. And this last time was the hardest thing that I've ever had to endure. The hardest thing that I've ever had to endure. How did you get through hard times? The hardest thing that you've ever endured in your life, because you've endured it because you're still here. I want you to write down, if you don't mind being vulnerable with me like I'm being vulnerable with you, I want you to just come in. What's the hardest thing you've gone through in your life, and how did you do that? Because you're still here, so you had to do it. So I knew God said no months. This actually isn't the new. Y'all, I've been so out of whack. This isn't even the new. This is the old new. There's new past this that you hadn't even seen. And this isn't even the new. Y'all, we hadn't talked, y'all. I'm gonna fix it, but it's gonna be all out of order. Bear with me and give me some grace as I'm learning to give myself grace. So, you can't pour from an empty cup. I have a lot of cups around me, and that means people. I have a big support group from my sister group, my parents, my grandparents, my family, my kids' healthcare team. We have a lot of support. And it's difficult when you feel like, I feel like I'm unsupportable. That means I feel so bad, so broken. I'm hurt so. I don't feel like everybody around me can even band together and support me. Have you felt like that? I guess that's where God's love is enough. Because everybody that I know that's around me and love on me right now, it's still not enough. It's still not enough. And I've become recluse, almost self-isolating due to these past events. Jackson was in the ICU on a ventilator. Because of COVID, being at the hospital, you are not allowed to leave your room except to use the restroom and to take a shower. There's no restroom in the room, and there's no area to do any personal grooming or hygiene in the room at the hospital. And so you're only allowed on your one floor. You're allowed to order 3 meals a day from the kids' menu, from the kids that are in the hospital. I saw death. I saw families arrive with children and didn't leave with them. I saw my son at 13 months old struggle for breath. Struggle for the air that God gave us. Before, when I've ever had to see that, I was able to intervene, CPR, when I did that before, or I was able to remove myself. This time, I wasn't able to do either. There was no intervention that I could provide, and there was no way I could remove myself from the trauma in front of me. So for 14 days, I watched my child struggle. I don't think there's anything more traumatizing than watching the part of your heart that's outside of your body, your kids, struggle to do the very thing you've given them, which is life. I think I'm forever changed. I think I'm forever changed. You can get through anything, but you need to let people help you. I have not allowed my support system. What's funny is I've allowed my support system to do more than I've ever allowed them to do, but I still haven't allowed them to support me through this. I don't even know what that looks like, but I know that I am self-isolating and I'm not being very productive. I'm sad. This was the third death sentence that God said no to for Jackson. It was crazy because we were called to spend the last 24 hours with him. When I said we, typically two parents can't be at the hospital, only one, but both were allowed to be there to spend what was said to have been Jackson's last 24 hours. But God said no. Why am I not more excited? I know, right? There was so much pain and trauma to the God said no that I'm numb. I didn't start to feel yet. My bodies, my mind, and my spirits are still trying to protect themselves. Myself. And it's hard. You don't know what to say to people because I thought the worst of the worst was behind us. Like we were talking about healing on this and how to get through, not necessarily going through. I already did that, God. I did that last year. I did that 6 years ago. I went through. Now we're going to talk about the road to recovery. And when God said, that's humbling. When you thought you were on a different path, it's very humbling. The people that you love are hurting. We're hurting. You're hurting. How do we band together and help soothe all of our hurts. I don't know Him. Through God, that's our spiritual connection. That we can defy our odds. You know, God keeps showing me Him through all the defying of my kids. Like, Jackson is the strongest person I know. I don't know about his brother, but he's shown me the most heart I've ever seen in a 13-month-old. And it's heartbreaking that he's had to. That's the hurt and the miracle. The miracle is he survived 3 death sentences. And you probably can hear him playing his piano in the back. The hurt and the miracle is having to see him, witness him, and him be a part of surviving 3 death sentences for a 13-month-old baby. That's too much. And that was my conversation with God. I was like, God, this is too much. It's too much. He's 13 months. How cruel can you be? How unlucky could I be? How sad can this be? And he keeps saying, turn it around, turn it around, turn it around. And I'm like, God, turn what around? Ain't nothing to turn around. And he's just, turn it around. Because the miracle that you are going to see, no one can take credit for but me. Nobody but you, Lord. Man said they couldn't do it 3 times. And you did it. 3 times in 13 months. I didn't think I could do this. If you hear Jackson's fellow care team talk about me, they were like, you were so unsure when you first came home. I know I'm smart and I have a lot of capabilities. But taking care of Jackson, I was unsure of. I was going to do it, but I wasn't confident. I was scared and I was alone. I had no nursing. We had no orders for nursing. I had no partner that was on assignment. I just had myself. I had my mom. I had my parents, but it's still COVID. I'm the only one who was taught everything, he's my son. But now they're like, you're rocking this thing out. And I'm like, who? Who rocking? Because I ain't rocking. I'm rocking, but I ain't rocking, Just forget that. But I'll say that if you're watching God's miracle and you're a part of God's miracle and you're seeing God's miracle, just because the people are receiving miracles, you shouldn't stop praying. It's not over. What I'm meaning by that is when you call me and I don't answer, please don't stop. Please don't take it personal. Mentally, in that moment, I could be battling a lot of things. Physically, in that moment, I take care of 2 children with critical needs. In that moment, I am administrator for all things household. In that moment, I am healthcare coordinator for all things household. I'm still a daughter, I'm still a wife, I'm still a friend, still a sister. And sometimes those hats fall by the wayside. And so even the strong have weak moments. Don't stop checking on your people. Don't let that friendship go. Don't stop trying because you're seen, but we're at war. God has us in a war. And the only thing that's saving us in this war is that He's right beside us. He's right beside you. So don't stop. Keep going. This is the new. And it has a back. You'll see it if you go on www.godsaidnollc.com. Shop. We'll talk about this other stuff later, okay? Okay. Hey y'all. So I'm back with the co-star because he can't stand to let me have it by myself. So this is Jackson's nursery. I've never recorded in here, and you may can hear Jackson's instrumental. He loves this piano, and it's a gift and a curse that Granny gave us, Gigi, because he will play that all day long. So say hi to the toddler. Say hi to Incredible, because 3 months ago, it was said that we weren't here. And he's a miracle. He keeps showing the miracle. Yeah. You're a miracle. And he's such a fighter. Like, I've never known, besides his brother, anybody who had to do this. But, the pressure of keeping someone who's chronically ill alive is a lot. It's very stressful. Because of COVID, Jackson now has new machines that we have to utilize. This is his vest that hooks up this machine that shakes. And so what that does is shakes up the mucus that's in your lungs and gets it up and out. And so then we have a machine that coughs for him that I have to attach directly to his trach. So I think it's important for you all to know what life looks like authentically. Because it's easy to say, God said no because he almost passed away. But what it takes to keep him here and how hard of a job it can be, I don't think we've adequately showed that. And I travel around. I'll even show you. I created this little system to be able to go in the house with Jackson anywhere I want. He has a cart. He requires frequent suctioning, and suctioning means Jackson hasn't learned to suck or swallow, so we're fed by a machine because of his brain injury and the cerebral palsy diagnosis. It requires me to not only shake up his lungs, cough for him, then I have to take it out, which is this machine here. And so all of these, this is my rolly cart that I take all around the house, so he's not bound in this room. He is in our room, he's in his brother's room, he's in the living room, he goes in the kitchen with me to cook. We're not in one place. And it takes a lot of courage and hard work to actively facilitate a real life with him. And I think he's happy. Are you happy? Don't embarrass me. Are you happy? Because he'll tell me no in a minute. He'll say no. So what I mean, are you happy with mommy? No, you are. Mommy's happy with you. Mommy's proud of you. So guys, anything that you feel like you can't do, or you feel like you can't hit head on, you feel like you don't have the strength to do, if you need a reference, we're a reference. I never thought I could do this. I never even imagined people did this every day, but we do. And we're gonna fight with it. This last hospitalization, I had to talk to God about peace. So, the interruptions. Daryl keeps calling me. He has work to do, but he keeps interrupting. Yeah. Your daddy keeps interrupting us. He took a nap and everything else. But Jackson does not look like what we have to do. And so a lot of times I'm going to say, be kind to people. You don't know their struggle. Because just because someone looks to be okay, you don't know. People are battling with things every day. And you have to be kind and be kind to ourselves. I think one of the things that I learned was to be kind to myself. And I prayed for peace. I asked God to give me peace with the situations that I can't control. And I can't control when it's time. And I just asked God to give me the peace to be able to accept when it's time. And so, you don't have to be ashamed of what's happened to you, how you've responded to it, but you can be better. You can definitely be better. And that looks different from everybody. That looks different for everybody, and everybody's journey is not the same. And so I have been battling with my worth being tied to a doctor, $1. But what I do here is invaluable. And providing a place where someone's completely comfortable to relax and be their most vulnerable self and even hold his head up is important. And this is an important job for me. And you can overcome. Jackson has fought through 4 times that people have given up on him. But God has never given up on him. And we have never given up on him. And God has never given up on us. And I'm not going to give up on you. And you're not going to give up on me. Keep holding me accountable. Because it's hard. It's hard. To keep fighting every day is hard. To choose happiness is hard. But every day, I wake up to this little person. Even though it's worth it. Y'all look how big he is. He was our baby. My baby's not a baby anymore. If you needed a miracle and to be witnessed, here you go. Here you go. So, I typically do this, I don't know how many times a day, but we don't show everything. We don't show everything. And this is how we keep Jackson clear. And this is called a suction machine. And that's how you clear his airway. So, if you guys need to babysit, you guys know the first lesson on clearing Jackson's airway. This is why he wasn't at Walmart when he coded. He didn't have a trach, and he couldn't clear it. And we figured that out. And we rectified it. So, alright, y'all. I'll be back with more. I just wanted to show that your prayers work. I'm okay today. Today is one of the best days. This weekend was the best weekend I've had since Jackson has been born. I had a lot of good moments. I got to see my sister in the last month. I've started to feel like myself again, and I'm thankful for that. COVID not only makes you sick, it takes a toll on you and everyone around you. So be safe, be careful, be strong. God got us. Because he got me and he got you. And we got each other. And we're going to be out. Because he's my co-star went to sleep on me. Bye, y'all.